Good morning, everyone. Gigi Barnett here. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining me here on the WITN First Alert Desk at 8 o'clock this morning. Earlier this morning, we were looking at some pretty patchy fog around town. I know, especially here in Greenville, if you checked out our show this morning, we had a few of our camera shots around town, and one of them in Greenville. You could barely see anything with all that fog out there, so hopefully if you were making your commute this morning, you got to your destination safely, you were very careful on the roads. Hopefully it seems like the fog is starting to clear out as the sun is now coming out. The day is getting started. So hopefully everyone has a wonderful day. It sounds like it's going to be one of those days where you start with a jacket and then you'll have to take it off. Maybe time for shorts weather later in the day, which seems to be the case here often in Eastern Carolina. That'll be kind of the same thing today. That will change tomorrow. Russell will have the rest of your forecast in just a few minutes. Before we dive into the rest of your weather updates of the day, we do have a story that came out yesterday in relation to our stories with Camping World and the flag that is flying on at their Evans Street and Red Banks location. There is a state law that just went into effect yesterday. Originally House Bill 926, which has been in the works for quite a few months now by the North Carolina legislature. That bill just went into effect as a law yesterday without Governor Stein's signature, and included in that law is a provision that would allow Camping World to fly their flag, which the city of Greenville has actually sued them. They did file a lawsuit back in June over the flag violating city code. So now that this law is in effect, one of the provisions that is stated within the law is that litigation, any fines that they were owed, they all are dropped once this law goes into effect. So we do have a story actually from Greenville City Council last night where they voluntarily dismissed their lawsuit. And we had Charlene Richards there who spoke with some officials from the Greenville City Council as well as some residents to speak more about this story.
Monday, House Bill 926, a law preventing local governments from restricting the size of official government flags on private property, went into effect without Governor Josh Stein's signature. This means the over $37,000 in fines that Camping World owed the city of Greenville are now void. With the law now in effect, Greenville City Council unanimously decided to voluntarily dismiss the lawsuit they originally filed in June against Camping World for violation of city code. Leaders say they're ready to move forward.
I've been against the lawsuit the entire time. I think it's not a great use of the city's resources for us to be fighting something like that. I'm thankful though that hopefully this will end it. I think we can all agree that filing an application incorrectly is wrong. We don't appreciate that. But I mean, like I said earlier, I think the most important thing is that we move forward and focus on things in our community that are extremely important.
North Carolina is a Dillon's rule state. That means that cities have authority only as it comes from the state. So with the passage of this new state law, we no longer have that authority, and so the lawsuit is dismissed and the issue is settled, and I'm looking forward to moving forward in a positive direction.
But one resident says while the city will move forward, at what cost?
The good thing is that Camping World shouldn't be an issue in our local discourse anymore. The bad thing is that we allowed an outside company to come in and trample on the city of Greenville. This bill betrays what I thought were conservative principles of self-governance, local government, not having overreach from a higher branch and federalism. They're using the American flag as a marketing tool, and they broke the law.
All right, now we have Russell here. Russell, you're going to give us kind of a look at what we're looking at today in terms of weather, also in the coming days, because things are going to get active. Weather is going to be changing a lot in the next few days. So what can you tell us?
That's right. It's a lot to talk about. We're going to be unpacking a lot of layers when it comes to warm temperatures, but we're also going to take a look at the tropics because we have one area that has a 90% chance of literally becoming a tropical depression or a named storm at any moment.
Okay.
So we might have tropical depression, I believe 10 or Jerry forming very soon, maybe as soon as the 11 o'clock advisory. So let's take a closer look at that right now. So hurricane season, 54 days left. Doesn't seem like very long, but October can be an active month historically for the southeast coast, including the Carolinas. And we're watching one area out in the open area waters of the Atlantic that has a 90% chance of developing. Now, I will have to be honest with you. Looking at the satellite presentation on this, it's already looking like a strong tropical depression or even a tropical storm. Here's what I mean by that. As we zoom in closer, take a 3D view of this tropical area, you see where all those thunderstorms are blowing up at, those darker reds, those darker purples, those white magenta colors starting to show up there. Those are very tall thunderstorms, and when they're very persistent like that, usually a center of circulation will form, and it has great outflow. So this is looking pretty healthy as it's moving through the open waters of the Atlantic. Good news is what will become Jerry at some point will eventually sort of recurve towards the north of the Lesser Antilles, and then high pressure will guide it through the central Atlantic, basically between Bermuda and basically east of there. Meanwhile, notice that elongated area of red from Jacksonville, Florida, through off the southeast coast. That will be a coastal low developing, something that we have to watch out for as we go into the weekend. But at least for right now, nice, wonderful view. Live look at the Sanitary Restaurant from looking at Morehead City. 69 degrees, northeast breeze at 5 miles an hour. As we take a look at the rest of your planning forecast, temperatures will be into the 60s and low 70s, eventually climbing into the 80s as we head towards the early to mid-afternoon hours. South-southeasterly breeze at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. In terms of our first alert beach weather forecast, we'll have low tide coming up at 2 p.m. Moderate risk rip currents, 2 to 3 footers. In terms of wave heights, winds coming in from the east, 5 to 10 miles an hour. Looking ahead at our first alert calendar, we have to take into consideration the king tide taking place today and tomorrow. Higher than normal astronomical tides, so that could lead to some beach erosion and issues along the coast. On Thursday, North Topsail Beach will be holding their Hurricane Community Forum from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. WITN End Zone on Friday, and then Mumfest Saturday into Sunday. Looking like we gotta deal with some rain.
Oh no!
A little bit of gusty winds there. Not looking forward to that. I'm more worried about the winds because they're tent, of course. So. As we take a look at our next big impact, this is what we're seeing going into Wednesday morning. We'll start the day off nice and sunny. We'll have some scattered clouds, very strong southwesterly breeze. By the afternoon, between about 3 to about 6:30, 7 o'clock, rain arriving. Northwest flow locks in. We dry out for Thursday. We keep the clouds sticking around going into Friday morning. But notice the rain. It's not getting out of here too quickly. It's like, I'm just going to chill right off the coast.
Hang out. Yep.
That's when a little bit of a low pressure will try to develop and bring back the rain through parts of our area. Late Saturday morning into the early afternoon. Gigi, if that low just jogs 50 miles west, that puts all the rain pretty much over eastern North Carolina, and that means for those of you going to Mumfest this weekend, gear up for the rain. Yep, we're going to be there. Rain, some gusty winds, and yes, some wind gusts could easily exceed 40 to 50 miles an hour, which I do need to mention. The National Weather Service sent out a briefing earlier. Now they have medium confidence. Earlier it was low confidence. Now it's medium confidence that we will see indeed a strong coastal low affecting our area. Okay. So rain chances right now got at 60 to 70%. If the trends continue, we're going to have to bump up the rain chances.
Okay.
So that's what we're looking at right now. In terms of first alert weather days, not expecting one tomorrow, but definitely the weekend. If we start seeing some significant impacts, we may have to consider either Saturday or Sunday as a first alert weather day. Right now, we don't have any on our 8-day forecast, but stay tuned to WITN for the latest information as we get further model data and forecast guidance coming in.
All right, Russell. Well, thank you for giving us the low on everything, especially as, we're thinking about weekend plans. I feel like Tuesday, Wednesday is usually the good point to do that. And of course, seeing some rain on the forecast sounds like Plan B is definitely a good option to have.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't, significantly impact our plans for the weekend, but just something to watch out for, certainly going into the next few days.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you, Russell. And thank you, everyone, for joining us this morning. We hope you have a great one. Check in with Charlie again at 9 a.m. for another news and weather update. Have a great day.
This hour of the WITN First Alert Desk is sponsored by Toyota of Goldsboro.